I'm excited to say that several of the people that were on the morning meeting actually went and created channels on Faith Channel. So they're going to start using Faith Channel as an opportunity to showcase their content and whatnot. Um, for those of you that weren't here, my name's Chip Rossetti. Many of you probably may know me from I've done over 70 movies and television shows, all in the last 14 years, all in the Christian faith-based and family-friendly spaces. Um, We've had distribution from just about all the big boys, including Lionsgate, put out a movie of ours a few years ago. We've been on the shelves at Walmart with our DVDs and Target and Meijer and truck stops. We were really successful in truck stops for some reason. But so we've had a lot of success in that respect. We've also learned, and I say we, but I'm referring to myself, the ups and downs and the pitfalls of distribution. And I'm at a point in my career now where I'm transitioning out of being on set and now I'm working more behind the scenes. I didn't have anybody that really helped me along when I started. I basically flew by the seat of my pants and made my first movie and literally sent out copies on DVD to Christian bookstores and said, buy my movie. And they got back to me and they said, well, it's not how we do it. And they hooked me up with a distributor, and that's how I got started. And I started like everybody else. I want to make a movie, I want to find a distributor, and then I want to sit back and let it make me a bunch of money. Well, I got half of that. I got two-thirds of that right. I made the movie, I found a distributor. In terms of making all the money, never happened. But I've learned all the ins and outs of how distribution works and how dramatically it has changed in the last 15 years, how dramatically it's changed in the last 5 years. When I got started, the idea of doing self-distribution was totally considered taboo. And it was something that the mainstream distributors, mainstream filmmakers looked at and said, no, that's not, you can't do that. And so I drank the Kool-Aid and I found distributors for all of my movies, and they've all been released in some capacity. And I see very little of the back end of that as a result. Well, that has changed so dramatically, and the invention and the growth of YouTube has given everybody with a camera an outlet for which to put out their content. The only problem is platforms like YouTube have become so inundated with content, and it doesn't even have to be good content. It's just content. Anybody with a camera can shoot anything that they want, and they can put it on YouTube. Um, so I here recently, the whole reason that I'm here tonight is to talk about Faith Channel. And I described Faith Channel, and I did this morning as saying if PureFlix, Tubi, and YouTube had a baby, it would be Faith Channel. Because in terms of the quality of the content, the kind of content that we have on there, the Christ-centered content that we have on there, the family-friendly content on there, that's sort of, in the realm of what PureFlix used to be. And I'll touch on that in just a minute. Our format, when you look at the platform, it reminds you a lot of Tubi in terms of how the content is situated and how and even how it's monetized. And then, like YouTube, you don't have to send me a bunch of content and say, hey, would you be willing to put this on YouTube or on Faith Channel? You can go to Faith Channel as soon as we get off of this thing. You can sign up for an account and you can request what's called a creator account, and you can build your own channels right there on there. And then you can populate them with your content. Where we are so much better than YouTube in that respect is on YouTube, you build your own channel. That's where your content lives. On Faith Channel, you build your own channel. That's where your content lives, but it also flies under the entire Faith Channel banner. So if you upload a feature film, it flies on the homepage on Fire TV, on Roku, on Apple Plus, or whatever platform people are watching on. Your movie exists under our feature films, under our movies. If you put a short film on there, it exists under our short films. We have a whole section there for stand-up comics. We have a section for web series. We have a section for podcasts, and I'm happy to say that you guys have signed up to have your podcast on Faith Channel. So that's what really sets it apart. And to make it even better, and it's kind of funny because today has been an unbelievable day since I left this morning. I touched briefly this morning on Faith Channel is now kind of moving into the distribution world. And we took a huge step just between 11:15 this morning and 7 o'clock this evening in procuring that and getting that set up. But here's where I want to make the difference, where I want to talk about how we differentiate and how different we are from traditional distributors. Faith Channel is kind of a hybrid. Okay. So many of the distributors, especially in the faith space, they basically have gone to the point where they've created their own streaming platforms. All right. So now you submit your movie. They say we want to distribute your movie. What they're going to do is they're going to basically put it up on their own streaming platform because that's where they can generate the most revenue. You're going to see a part of that, of course. But what isn't happening is they're not making a push to get your project onto Tubi and onto Philo and onto all these other platforms that are looking for content because they know if they put your content on there, that's one less eye that's watching your content on their in-house proprietary program. The reason that I bring that up is because I'm working with Faith Channel now, and my job as the content acquisitions director is to bring as much content as I can to Faith Channel. But what I also bring to Faith Channel is 15 years of working to establish relationships with broadcasters and streaming platforms and places all over the world that are looking for content. So yeah, you can leave this meeting today and you can go and you can create your own channel on Faith Channel, and by tonight your stuff's showing up on our platform. Right? As long as it adheres to our standards, there's a whole thing. Um, but your stuff can start right there. You can then send me an email and you can say, well, I've got a brand new movie that's done and I'm shopping it around for distributors. What can Faith Channel do that Bob Smith distribution can't? And that's where we're going to get into something different. So we're going to say, yes, we want to put it on Faith Channel because we want to bring eyes to Faith Channel, but we want to bring eyes to your project as well. But how can we get this onto other places beyond Faith Channel without you having to submit to each and every one of those things? Those are all the connections that I've made over the years. And I'll give you an example. We met with somebody today that has a brand new show that's never been seen before, and they're wanting to put it on. They already have signed a streaming video on demand, an SVOD deal, but they don't have anything in place for AVOD or transactional, which is what Faith Channel is. So they want to come on board with us to put their show on Faith Channel. But then they said, "Can you help us get deals in other places?" I got off that call with them and I immediately contacted I think 8 different streaming platforms outside of the United States. And I said, "If I have this show, would you want it?" And 7 of the 8, and only one is because it's in a place where everybody was asleep, got back to me and said, "Yeah, I sent them the trailer and they said, "Yeah, we would do it." I have no authority to do that because we don't have a distribution deal with these people, but on their behalf, I reached out. So if they do come on board and they want Faith Channel Distribution to handle the distribution side of this thing, then we're already set up. We're ready to go. We can have it up on Faith Channel inside of a couple of days if we need to. On theirs, it's a bigger show, so we're going to do some build up, some marketing and things like that to lead up to the release of it. But we've already got seven more streaming platforms around the world that are ready to take their entire series, and to have those discussions. So I think again, that's what sort of sets us apart is that we are Christ-centered, we're all believers, and we want to work the same way you guys are all here in this group to work together. We want to be that avenue to help you guys where, again, I didn't have that help. A lot of filmmakers that started when I started didn't have that help. We basically just had to throw it out there and see what happens. The industry and in this genre has grown in such a way, and there's so many people, and a bunch of them are on this call right now. There's so many people that are willing to say, here's what I can bring to the table to help you do what you want to do. Yeah, you know what? We're all in this from a business standpoint as well. So I mean, we're not gonna say that we're not, but at the same time, we all have levels of expertise. We all have areas where we're. I said that somebody asked me one time when I was making a movie, how do you do what you do? And I just flat out said two things. One, by the grace of God, and number two, because I surround myself with people that are better than me. Because that's just it. I know my strengths and I know where I excel, but I know that there are other people that have strengths and can excel in ways that I can't. So those are the people that I want to have involved with me. And when I came on board with Faith Channel, I've been with them for only a couple of months now. But when I came on board with Faith Channel, we've already almost tripled the amount of content that we have on there. And why is it? It's because I had those connections. So they came to me because I had the connections to get the content. Now we're getting the content. Now we're bringing in new filmmakers, new content creators, and the sky's the limit for what we're doing. So that's my Reader's Digest pitch there. I could go on for hours, but I'm not going to.